Imagine working for 40 years. You finally reach the moment you've been waiting for. You clean out your desk, you shake your boss's hand, you tell your family, "I'm finally retired." And then you apply for Social Security. You think the important decision is your age, 62 or 65, 67 or 70. But there's another decision that almost nobody talks about: the month you choose. And depending on your situation, that month can affect when your benefits begin, how your first year is handled, and how much of your retirement income you actually get to keep. My grandfather used to think retirement was simple. You work until you're done. You stop working, you turn on Social Security, and the checks start coming. But when he was getting close to retirement, he discovered something that completely changed the way he looked at those final months of work. Because retirement isn't always a single day. It's a transition, and Social Security has rules that treat that transition very differently depending on what you're doing, how much you're earning, and when you actually start benefits. Here's the part that makes this especially important. A person can retire in the middle of the year after earning tens of thousands of dollars earlier in that same year, and under Social Security's special first-year rule, they may still qualify for benefits for certain months after retirement if their monthly earnings fall below the applicable limit. In 2026, for someone under full retirement age for the entire year, that monthly limit is $2,040. The annual earnings limit is $24,480. That sounds like a technical rule, but for someone standing at the edge of retirement, it can become a very real financial decision. Because imagine two people. They are both 62, they worked for the same company. They earned roughly the same amount. They have similar savings, but one retires in June and the other waits until October. Their retirement stories can look very different, and that's where most people make the mistake. They think retirement begins when the job ends. Social Security doesn't always see it that way. The month you choose can matter. But before we get into exactly why, there's an even bigger question. What if the month you retire isn't the most important month at all? What if the real decision is the month your Social Security benefits begin? Because those are not necessarily the same thing. And once you understand that difference, the entire retirement decision starts to look different. My father learned this the hard way. He had spent years telling everyone he would retire at 62. That was the number in his head, 62. The moment he reached it, he believed he had earned the right to stop working and collect Social Security. But then he started looking at the numbers, and he realized something uncomfortable. Retiring at 62 doesn't mean you're automatically receiving your full retirement benefit. Social Security allows retirement benefits to begin as early as 62, but starting before full retirement age permanently reduces the monthly amount. For people born in 1960 or later, full retirement age is 67. So my father had two different decisions sitting in front of him. When should I stop working, and when should I start Social Security? Those sound like the same question. They're not. And this is where the month of retirement becomes much more interesting. Let's say someone is 62 and has already earned $45,000 by the time they leave their job late in the year. Under the normal annual earnings test, that income could create a problem because the 2026 annual limit for someone under full retirement age is $24,480. But Social Security has a special rule for the first year of retirement. If the person is considered retired in a particular month and their earnings for that month are $2,040 or less, they may receive a full benefit for that month even though their total earnings for the year were much higher. That's an enormous difference in how the calendar can affect the first year. Think about it. A person could earn a large salary from January through August, retire, and then earn only a small amount in September. The annual income number looks huge, but the Social Security rules can look at that first retirement year differently. This is why my grandfather's advice was always simple. Don't just ask when you can retire, ask what happens after you retire, because the calendar can change the answer. But there's another detail people often miss. Even after you choose the month your benefits should start, you don't necessarily receive the payment in that same month. Social Security says retirement benefits are paid in the month after the month they're due. So if you choose May as your benefit start month, your first payment generally arrives in June. That sounds minor, until you're sitting at home after your final paycheck, watching your savings account, waiting for that first Social Security deposit. Suddenly, 1 month isn't just a date on a calendar, it's cash flow. And retirement is ultimately a cash flow problem. But we're still missing the biggest piece. Because the month you retire can affect your first-year situation. The month you claim Social Security can affect something much more powerful: the size of your monthly benefit for the rest of your life. And that's where this decision becomes much bigger than a calendar. This is the part my uncle didn't understand until much later. He thought waiting a few months wouldn't make much difference. But Social Security benefits are adjusted based on when you claim. Start early, and your benefit can be permanently reduced. Wait longer, and your monthly benefit can increase. For people born in 1960 or later, claiming at 62 can mean receiving as much as 30% less than the full retirement benefit available at full retirement age. Waiting beyond full retirement age can increase the benefit through delayed retirement credits up to age 70. That means retirement isn't simply, should I retire? It's really several decisions happening at once. When do I stop working? When do I claim Social Security? How much am I still earning? How much do I need each month? And how long do I expect to depend on this income? That's why two people who retire at exactly the same age can make completely different decisions. One might need the income immediately. Another might have enough savings to delay Social Security. Another might continue working part-time. Another might retire in the middle of the year and use the special first-year earnings rule. There is no universal best month for everyone, and that's important. This video isn't about telling you that January is better than June, or that October is better than March. The real lesson is that your retirement month should fit your entire financial picture, because Social Security looks at more than just the day you stop going to work. Your earnings history matters. Your claiming age matters. Your month of benefit entitlement matters. And if you're still working, your earnings can matter too. In 2026, for example, someone under full retirement age for the entire year generally faces the $24,480 earnings limit. But in the year they reach full retirement age, a higher $65,160 limit applies to earnings before the month they reach full retirement age. After reaching full retirement age, the earnings test no longer reduces benefits. So the calendar isn't just a calendar, it's part of the calculation. And maybe that's the biggest mistake people make. They spend decades planning for retirement, but only weeks thinking about the actual transition into it. They plan their savings, they plan their house, they plan their travel, they plan what they'll do with their time. But they don't always plan the months between the final paycheck and the first Social Security payment, and that gap can matter. So if you're getting close to retirement, don't just ask, what age should I retire? Ask, what month should I stop working? What month should my Social Security begin? What will I earn during that first year? How will my cash flow look while I transition? And most importantly, what happens if I choose a different month? Social Security provides tools and personal benefit estimates that allow people to compare claiming scenarios based on their own records. That is where the real power is, not guessing, not copying what your neighbor did, not automatically claiming at 62 because someone in your family did, but understanding your own numbers before making an irreversible decision. Because my grandfather was right about one thing: retirement really does begin when the job ends. But financially, retirement begins when the plan starts working. And sometimes, the difference between a stressful retirement and a comfortable one isn't a massive investment when. It can begin with something much smaller, a decision on a calendar, a month, a few weeks, a choice most people never think about until it's too late. So, before you circle your retirement date, look at the entire picture, because the month you retire could change your Social Security, and the month you claim it could change your retirement income for years to come. If you want more documentaries about the money decisions shaping America's future, subscribe to MSBT Finance.